Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition or episode of the Hare Krishna Project podcast. This is episode number 78. A big thank you to everyone who continues to tune in on a regular basis, whether that's on YouTube or Facebook or by any other means to listen or watch this podcast. I'm grateful to our viewers, listeners from all over the world. You tune in on a regular basis, not to hear what I have to say, but to hear what the guest has to say. And I'm delighted to welcome our guest this week, Sundar Gopal Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for inviting me to your podcast program.
It's great to have you with us. Now, I'll let you talk in a moment, but just to say, I'm very grateful to you because you and I met, well, we've never met in person, but you and I met around 3 years ago, thanks to the internet. And you were very helpful in writing, well, you were helpful in the research for me writing my book. In fact, without you, the chapter on the 1930s and the devotees and what was happening in London in the 1930s with the devotee community just wouldn't have happened. So a big shout out to you and to glorify you for everything that you did. And we'll talk a bit more about that later as to why you were able to help with that particular chapter. So let's start with a nice, easy question. Tell us a bit about you and where you're from.
Well, my name is Shorish Das, and after that, I got initiated and became Sundar Gopal. And I'm from Kolkata. I'm born and brought up here. I studied in an English medium school in Kolkata, and then I was living very near to the temple from where I got initiated, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Calcutta. And then in 2008, I was around like 15 years old. I have never been to temple before or any such inclination I had. But in our house, we had Krishna deities. In my grandmother's house, I was staying with my grandmother. Even to a surprise, her name is Krishna Mitra. So even though we would, I mean, people would call her like Krishna Di or Krishna Auntie, I mean, they would take the name of Krishna like that. So, yeah, so my grandmother name was Krishna Mitra, and she was devoted to Krishna, even though she was not initiated in the Gauriya Sampradaya, but she was worshipping Krishna as the main deity in our family. So after my birth, slowly seeing her, how she would do the worship and all, and as you know, in Indian household, there are so many festivals. And the main festival, even though if you're not a devotee, in India, people celebrate Janmashtami. So I could see how Janmashtami celebration would take place in our house, and then Jhulan Yatra, and especially the Jhulan Yatra is very different from the Jhulan Yatra of the Gaudiya Vaishnava community, because I mean, previously I have seen, I mean, small children, they would set up a small pandal and would put the deity of Radha Krishna, and it would made of clay dolls and some cows, all made of clay, and would put, and they would observe Julan festival, would offer candies to people who would come there, and they would keep a small donation plate, and they would play all the very authentic Bengali Julan Yatra songs. So seeing those, I have been brought up in the family. And in 2008, when I first started going out of the house, meeting people, friends, so I was a very regular boy, going to school, coming back from school, studying, and then playing with friends on the road after school. So then in 2008, I was going to one market which was near my house. I was going alone, and I saw a very beautiful temple, a saffron color big temple standing in the middle of the road, so vibrant. And it made me feel, oh my God, I have never seen such beautiful dome of the temple. So let me go inside and see what deities are there. So I went inside, and there was some festival. I cannot remember what festival was going that time in the temple. I went inside and I saw the very beautiful deities of Radha Krishna. And I was like completely blown away, because I have never seen that Radha Krishna is dressed like that. I mean, life-size deities dressed so beautifully in clothes, turbans, flower, garlands, ornaments. I was like 10, 15 minutes, I was just standing in front of the deities and I was just looking at them. Oh my God, I have never seen such beautiful deities in my life. And another thing I would mention, since my grandmother, her name was Krishna, my grandfather's name was Gokul Krishna. So there was some connection of Krishna in my family like that. So I was completely mesmerized seeing the beauty of the deities. And I thought, and I was seeing, actually, I am a kind of observer. I was standing in one side of the door and I was looking how the people, I mean, how the devotees, they were paying the pranam, so what they were doing, how they take the arati on their head, everything I was watching. Because before I do, I should not make such mistake and maybe people will shout and say something. So I was standing in one corner of the temple and was observing. So that was the first time I have been to the Krishna temple and met the devotees. But still, I would not speak to anyone. I was kind of very introvert. So I thought, so I left after 10, 15 minutes. I had darshan, I came back home. But it made me think the whole night that such beautiful deities, life-size deities, and so beautiful. Let me go back tomorrow also at the same time and see what happens there. So the next day also I went back and I saw the deities. They were so beautiful. And then one devotee, he saw me coming like 2, 3 days I was going there. So then he asked me, Prabhuji, would you like to come and take darshan of our spiritual master? And that time I had no idea. So he said Guru. So I had no idea who is Guru, what is Guru. I just said, okay, no problem. And he brought me upstairs. So there starts the journey.
Wow. And that was when you were 15 years old in
Yes,
2008.
15 years,
And
2008.
this was the Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Mat temple
In Kolkata. Yes.
in Calcutta.
Yes.
Wow. I can imagine, I can just kind of imagine how busy it was and the kind of, I mean, because
Yes.
I mean, India in general is very busy, isn't it? And there's so
Yes.
many things happening. And I've been to Calcutta a few times as well. The last time must have been, I don't know, 2016, maybe 20, I can't quite remember. And
And
just,
it's in a very busy area, the temple.
yeah. So okay. Well, let's talk about that now, and we'll talk about kind of your work a bit later on because I'm really fascinated
Okay.
by that. So you went to you were kind of raised kind of Hindu or kind of
Yes.
culturally Hindu. You know, it's kind of like in Britain, even though people might not be aware of it, we're kind of raised culturally as Christians.
Okay.
Not a lot of British people might not use that label, but our annual calendar is based around the Christian calendar. So the government gives us holidays off for Christmas and Easter, and so a lot of the laws in Britain are based around the kind of Christian tradition. And I guess it's the same in India with the Hindu tradition, or
Yes. Like Janmashtami, Durga Puja, these are the main festivals of Bengal, especially.
yeah.
Even though there are people in Bengal, they are not devotees, but Janmashtami is widely celebrated in every household.
And is Diwali widely celebrated in Bengal as well?
Yeah, Diwali is celebrated, but Diwali is mainly for the non-Bengalis.
Ah,
For the Bengalis, it's like the Kali Puja, the day
yeah,
before Diwali. They
yeah.
worship God Kali, goddess Kali.
So you were 15 years old and you
Yes,
went to the Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Mat temple. And
yes,
this devotee asks you, "Oh, do you want to come meet our guru?"
yes. So he
Um,
would watch me because 2, 3 days I was going at the same time, and I would arrive at the time when the arati, evening arati would get over.
hmm.
So when I go there, this devotee would see me that every day I'm coming and I'm just standing in one corner and taking darshan of the deities and then just going back.
So tell us a bit about that first meeting, that experience with meeting the spiritual master. Tell us more about that.
Yes. So this devotee then asked me to come up with him. So I went up on the first floor and I saw, have never seen such thing that in one line, all the Matajis were standing in another queue, all the Prabhujis. So I was not aware what was happening there, everybody going inside the room, because still I was at the back and I couldn't see my Guru Maharaj sitting. So every evening after Aarti, there was darshan inside his room. So Guru Maharaj would meet all the devotees who would come and he would distribute prasad. So this darshan would happen every evening inside his room at Sri Chaitanya Gauriya Math. So Guru Maharaj was sitting there, and when my turn came, this devotee dragged me inside and said, Guru Maharaj, this is a boy who is coming every day, taking darshan, standing downstairs, not speaking to anyone. So I brought him upstairs to meet you. And then he said, okay, you do pranam. And I did my pranam to Guru Maharaj because I have seen how the devotees, they would do pranam, like prostrated obeisances. So I did that. And then the first thing he asked, even though he was at the time when I met first time, first Guru Maharaj in 2008, he was already 85 years old. So he was like still so shining, vibrant, and with a very beautiful smile on the face. He asked my name, "What is your name?" And I said, and I was like so nervous. Instead of telling my material name, I told him the name which usually my parents they would call me. So the name of my parents, they gave me a name, my nickname, which means light, deep. So I told Guru Maharaj that, Guru Maharaj, my name is Deep. And he said, "Oh, so which deep are you?" Because the name has two meanings. It's either light or it's an island. So Guru Maharaj asked me, "Which one are you? Are you the island or the light?" I said, "I'm the light." And then he was laughing, the meaning of my name. It
Wow.
was so sweet first darshan. And then he asked, and I have seen that in mainly in senior devotees at the mat who are, I mean, from the 1940s or 50s, they would address everyone as Prabhu or you with a very in a very not like the way we converse nowadays with friends and all, or even an elder is conversing with a junior one. He would always give respect to the junior people as well. So he asked me, like in Bengali, apni is like a very um, high way of addressing someone. So he asked me from where you live, what you do, and I told him that this, and he was emphasizing very much that it is very important to do studies, because he was trying to say that if we do not study well, if we do not read the scriptures, it becomes very difficult in the future generations to be a part of the Vaishnav community as well. So reading and learning is very important, because he was highly educated, Guru Maharaj. In 1947, he passed out MA in philosophy from Calcutta University, and he was masters in in two subjects, one in philosophy and one in history. So he was
Wow.
highly educated.
So do you want to, I mean, I know who you're talking about, but do you want to kind of tell our viewers and listeners the name of the spiritual master
Oh,
that
yes,
you
I
were
forgot.
meeting?
Sorry about
Don't
that.
worry, you got to kind of run, you got to kind of run away with excitement. Please
Yeah,
tell
so
us.
then I met this great personality, the most sweet, humble, my most revered Gurudev, His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Tirtha Goswami Maharaj. Of course, I know people, devotees all over the world, they know about him, his contribution, and his glorious life.
Mm, mm. So, it was wondering, I loved how you were talking about your Guru Maharaj, and you kind of forgot to mention his name, because you're showing kind of positively engrossed in kind of, you know, that experience of when you first met him in 2008. It's kind of like, it's such a transcendental kind of spiritual experience. So Srila Bhakti Balabatirtha Maharaj,
Yes,
who was and is a wonderful personality, who in his later years traveled all over the world, didn't he, to
yes.
spread
In
Krishna
1997.
consciousness and share bhakti. And that was some of the conversations you and I had a number of years ago, was about your Guru Maharaj.
Yes.
And he has some followers, a number of followers here in the UK as well. So I don't mind, but maybe one of us could explain how Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Maharaj fits into the kind of Gaudiya Sampradaya. Do you want to? I mean, I'm happy for you to do it. You're in the
Yes,
line. So
yes.
in terms of his spiritual master and the link to
Yes.
Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj.
So Guru Maharaj, after passed out from the Calcutta University in 1947, he met his spiritual master, His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Goswami Maharaj,
Yeah.
and then he came in contact with him. And then seeing his personality, I mean, highly studious and highly educated, even though at the same time very humble. Guru Maharaj was the most humble person I have ever seen in the world. I mean, seeing that, Param Gurudev became attracted to his personality and started, I mean, nurturing him as a devotee. So there were many conversations when at the initial stage, Guru Maharaj asked Param Gurudev that even though his father has done so much for him, so would it be nice that if he leave his father and will come and do service at the mat, service of the Lord, and then giving the examples of the swans. Param Gurudev, I would like to share this with you. So the first thing Param Gurudev said, that there are two kinds of swans. There are swans in the material world, those who are happily eating worms. So sometime uh, they saw that few big swans Those are very good looking swans. They were flying. So they saw these small swans and they came down and asked, would you like to go to Mansarovar with us? So they asked, where is this Mansarovar? And then these big swans, beautiful swans, they said this Mansarovar is a beautiful place where beautiful rivers, mountains, beautiful environment, and you get to eat the lotus stem. And we don't eat all these worms, what you are eating. So then they said, oh, so we won't get worms there. So then this big swan says, no, you get the highest thing, the higher taste, that is the lotus stem. So then the swans discussed among themselves and they said, no, we are happy here. We don't want to go to Mansarovar. And then the big swans left. Then Param Gurudev told Guru Maharaj that always we aspire for the greatest things in our life. So those ducks, they deprive themselves just because they cannot eat worms. So they couldn't go to Mansarovar. But it would have been so nice. So that's how Param Gurudev was answering questions of Guru Maharaj, and his mind completely changed and he got attracted to Param Gurudev's divine personality and engaged himself in Sri Chaitanya Gauriya Math service. So when he came, he became the secretary. So after initiation, he was named Krishna Ballabh Brahmachari. So that time he has associated with many of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur disciples. And later years, they have all said, we have recordings and writings where many disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, like Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, like Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti Kumud Santa Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti Hriday Bon Maharaj, they all said that after the disappearance of Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Goswami Maharaj, he is a befitting Acharya who has all those qualities and can run the mission of Sri Chaitanya Gauriya Math and mission of Bhaktivedanta Madhav Goswami Maharaj.
So I love hearing you talk about your Guru Maharaj and the kind of Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math. So just to kind of, so all of our, particularly our Western viewers and listeners are aware, not aware, most devotees should know this. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, the kind of founder Acharya of the Gaudiya Math, had lots of disciples, and there were a lot of god brothers who were lots of disciples, all god brothers who were all very highly elevated. One of them, probably the most well-known globally, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He had lots of god brothers such as Keshava Maharaj, Sridhar Maharaj, Daita Madhava Maharaj. So Daita Madhava Maharaj was the founder Acharya of the Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math. I think that was 1953. I think.
Yes.
That date sticks in my head.
So
lots of, after the Gaudiya Math kind of disseminated in the late 30s, early 40s, lots of new maths came about. ISKCON was actually a later invention. ISKCON didn't come about for a good 20 years, really, 15, 20 years after a lot of those other maths. The Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, also around the same time, Keshava Maharaj. So after Daita Madhava Maharaj left the world in 1979, Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Maharaj became the president Acharya of the Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, and he served in that role then for a long time, didn't he? Up until 2017.
Till 2017,
which is I'm terrible at maths. Almost 40 years, I think. Is that almost 40 years? I'm not very good at mathematics. Which is a really long time to hold that really important.
He was the Acharya for a very long period. And not only that, he was selected as the Acharya by the disciples of Prabhupada.
Yes. Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. Yeah. Which is and he also came to the UK, didn't he?
Yes.
A number of times.
And he was mostly invited by the disciples of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada.
Yeah. And I've met a number of his Shiksha disciples in the UK. I'm not actually aware that he has any Diksha disciples in the UK. I mean, there's a, I'm not sure if I should.
Prem Chat Prabhu is his Diksha disciple.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, of course. I feel terrible. I was actually at their house I was actually at their house 3 weeks ago. It's terrible. Okay. For me, it's early on a Sunday morning when we're doing this recording. Yes, and of course, Trilokanath, who received Brahmin initiation, I think, from Srila Bhakti.
And also Trilokanath Prabhu's daughter, Lalita.
Yes, yes. And I believe also, just so we're kind of bringing all the family together, I believe after Naraya Maharaj left the planet, it's very
Yes.
kind of Hare Krishna jargon, isn't it? Left the planet. After he passed on, a number of his disciples took shelter of Srila Bhaktivedanta
Yes.
Maharaj. So
Yes.
um, he certainly has a lot of respect,
Yes.
and a lot of devotees in the UK have a lot of love for him. Can we talk a bit about the Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya mat?
Yes.
This is a mat that a lot of our viewers and listeners might not be aware of. It has temples in India, does it?
Yes, in India, mostly in most of the state, it has its branches in like the best of the best places. And
Creme de la creme.
every place has a story. I mean, imagine Chandigarh in Punjab. They were all Mayavadis. So the first preaching started in Punjab, in the north side of India, by my Param Gurudev Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Madhav Goswami Maharaj, and how he has like transformed their hearts. And in now we have the biggest congregation in Punjab only, like in Chandigarh, Bhatinda, Ludhiana, Jalandhar, Pathankot. In 5 places of Punjab, we have mutt and big mutts, not centers.
You know, hearing you talk about it just makes me want to come to India. It
Yes.
sounds wonderful, and I've forgotten that the Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya mat has a very big presence in the Punjab.
Yes.
Lots of kind of preaching stuff going on there.
And one in Punjab and in Assam, in the mountains. They were all like the tribals. So Param Gurudev also transformed their heart by going there, meeting devotees. And the same thing after Param Gurudev's disappearance, Guru Maharaj continued with it. So in Assam also we have a very big congregation, like in Guwahati, then in Goalpara, that's the birthplace of my Guru Maharaj. And most importantly, recently I have read from the Gaudiya journal that Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, when he first went to Assam, he went to Goalpara. So Goalpara is not an ordinary place, it's a dham. So Goalpara is the birthplace of my Guru Maharaj, where Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada first went. And then my Param Gurudev and then Guru Maharaj appeared there.
Wow, it's amazing. Tell us a bit about Gokul, if you can, and
Yes.
what Gokul was or is, and how it operates.
It's still running. So Guru Maharaj, when he started to preach in the West, devotees were requesting him to open temples and centers. So Guru Maharaj thought that it will be sometimes maybe when he won't be able to come there, or if there will be any crisis, devotees from India won't be able to travel there to preach. So he didn't started the mission in the West as Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math. He then founded Gokul, the global organization of Krishna Chaitanya's universal love. And he made small centers in different places around the world and inspired devotees to do chanting, help classes, programs there. And since then, Gokul was running, and I think it is still running, but not in the pace when Guru Maharaj was there. So our present Acharya, Pujapad Vishnu Maharaj, is taking care of it, and he's running it well. But he hasn't traveled outside India yet, which I think soon he will, maybe in coming years. So like this, so through Gokul, many devotees have connected, and wherever we have, established centers, we have outside India, Guru Maharaj and devotees have named it Gokul only, because that was the main motto of Guru Maharaj, to establish Gokul outside India.
Can you just mentioned a name, and it was going to be a question I was going to ask you shortly, but you've already answered it. Who is the current Acharya of the Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya mat?
Bhaktivedanta Vishnu Maharaj. So he was appointed as the present president of our Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya mat.
And he is planning to visit the West soon? Is he?
I think yes, because now he is busy preaching in India and other places. Because my Param Gurudev has like instructed my Guru Maharaj that there should be annual festival. Like there are 12 months. So in 12 months, in 1 month each, so we have like around 24 or now 25 months all around India. So in some places, Param Gurudev instructed there should be preaching program always going on. So we have a preaching party of 21 people. So Guru Maharaj would also travel them with various places for preaching. So Vishnu Maharaj is also kind of following the legacy of Guru Maharaj by traveling to all these mats once or twice in a month to do the programs. And
Wow.
mostly in our temples, we have annual festivals now. Like now, the annual festival of Bhatinda Math in Punjab is going on. So now after that, he will come to Calcutta because the Janmashtami festival will be celebrated in Calcutta when the Acharya will be here. So like this. So he's also busy in preaching programs in Calcutta. Sorry, not Calcutta, all over India. And he has a big congregation of young boys in Delhi and Chandigarh, and they have named it Chaitanya Yuva Sangha. So all the young boys from Punjab and Delhi, they have this Sunday program where the young devotees, they discuss about spiritual topics, they have feasts, they have kirtan, and every week they do. So this is a new venture in our mat, the Chaitanya Yuva Sangha. Yuva means young and Sangha means association.
Wow. It sounds wonderful. Well, I love to meet the current president, the chariot of the mission. I mean, if and when he does come to the West, please do let me know and let us know, and we can help kind of promote his visit.
Yes.
Let's talk a bit now about your work, what you do
Yes.
during the day and maybe all through the night, because I know you're a busy person. Tell us a bit about where you work and what happens there.
Well, I work as a research fellow and curator at the Bhaktivedanta Research Centre in Calcutta for the last 9 years.
Wow.
Yes.
So
So
you were quite young when you started.
yes.
Wow.
So
When I
great
just want to
journey.
say to our viewers and listeners, when we logged into this Zoom session, I asked you if your background was real because I thought it was some fake background, but actually you're really at the Bhaktivedanta Research Centre, aren't you?
Yes, I'm sitting there and I'm talking to you from there directly.
And they are real books behind you.
Yes. So behind me, you can see these are the Bhagavad Gitas in 57 languages we have.
Wow.
And behind this shelf is a treasure trove. That's the personal library collection of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur.
Wow.
So I will talk about this now.
So yeah, please go ahead. Enlighten us about the Bhaktivedanta Research Centre.
Yeah. So the Bhaktivedanta Research Centre is a research center and an academic institute affiliated with the University of Mumbai for masters and PhD programs, and with Sarabhai Pune University for research. And our main motto is to preserve, research, and disseminate the rich history, philosophy, and cultural heritage of India, as well as also to create awareness and foster cooperation on these studies internationally. And we have branches in Calcutta, Mumbai, Pune, Puri, and Vrindavan. And also, we are partnering with several academic institutions in India and across the globe, such as the Oxford Center of Hindu Studies and also the National Philosophical Counseling Association in USA.
Wow.
Yes.
So okay, so you run the Kolkata center.
So I am taking care of the Calcutta Center here, yes, for the last 2 years. So we have our academic dean, Dr. Sumanta Rudra, who is a very enthusiastic, efficient, and with a lot of effort. He's doing a lot of hard work and collaborating BRC with several reputed universities in Calcutta and abroad. So recently, I would like to give this information. Recently, we got collaborated with the Scottish Church College. So if you know, in the history, our A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada have studied in the Scottish Church College in Calcutta. So recently, BRC got collaborated with the effort and the hard work of Dr. Sumanta Rudra, and we got collaborated with the Scottish Church College in Calcutta, and we started an award there. And we named that award as the Bhaktivedanta Swami Memorial Award. So every year, a student from the philosophy department who will be getting the high score will be getting that award as a scholarship, and the teacher of doing the greatest social service in Calcutta. Since A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada has done the greatest social service to the world. So these two awards we are giving, the Bhaktivedanta Swami Memorial Award.
Wow. Wow. And the Bhaktivedanta Research Centre, it's named after Bhaktisiddhanta Swami
Yes.
Prabhupada.
So Hare Prabhu and our Dr. Ferdinando Sardella, who is known as Pranava Prabhu, they have founded BRC around 2006 or 7. And they named it as Bhaktivedanta Research Center. And BRC was officially started in 2008.
Is it officially an ISKCON project or initiative?
You can see it's a more secular.
Okay.
Even though it's a part of ISKCON, but it's more secular because we are an academic institution. We show to the people we're an academic institution where we are collaborating with several reputed universities, where we are doing masters and PhD programs with them. But our main focus is religious studies, Vaishnavism, Hinduism, Indology.
Wow, I want to come and visit. It sounds wonderful. It reminds me of my university days.
Our library constitutes over like 50,000 books, journals, and newspapers, many from the colonial period. And this has come from the private library collection of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So this library first, Pujapad Bhakti Vibhuda Bodhayan Maharaj, who is the current Acharya Sri Gopinath Gauri Math, has received it from the son of Sundarananda Vidya Vinod. So Sundarananda Vidya Vinod used to be the personal secretary and a disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So after the split of Gauriya Math, so he was having this entire library collection of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur with him, and then he traveled to Dhaka and brought the entire collection with him there. So several years he stayed in Dhaka, and then later I think in the 1960s or 70s, he came back to Calcutta, and then this entire collection was in his house. So after his disappearance, his son was taking care, Sri Vinodananda Das. So even though he was also 80 years old, he was trying to look for someone who is efficient and trustworthy to give this entire collection of his father. So even though many devotees, many people went, but no one was successful. So he was actually, you can say he was very much touched by the personality of our Bodhayan Maharaj. So he gave this entire collection to Bodhayan Maharaj. So even the Bodhayan Maharaj took it, but he was traveling and doing preaching programs. He wanted to give this huge collection a place where this can be taken care of. So then he learned that Hare Prabhu has opened the Bhaktivedanta Research Centre in Calcutta. And then he came to him, he met him, and a written agreement has been signed by both the parties. And then in the custody of the Bhaktivedanta Research Centre, this entire library collection of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, which is the rarest of the rare, has come to BRC in 2009.
Wow. It sounds like a real treasure chest.
Yes, and it has 3,500 books along with journals, all ancient journals, like the daily Nadia Prakash, which used to be the daily newspaper during Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's time, the Gaudiya Journal, which was a pamphlet of 25 to 26 pages per week from Calcutta he would publish, then the Paramarthi journal in Oriya language, which he would publish from Orissa, then the Kirtaniya journal, which he was publishing from Assam in Assamese language, the Bhagavat journal in Hindi, which he was publishing from northern India, and the Harmonist in English.
Wow. And all of those,
all of them, we have the complete
are there,
of all those journals. Yes, BRC has complete like 40,000 images of Nadia Prakash and 5,000 issues.
Wow.
So if you read those, you will have an understanding what was happening 100 years ago in Gauriya Math. So it has all the information, like where Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would go, what he would do, whom he has initiated, whom he has given sannyas, where he is going for preaching, where he is going for preaching, and every detailed information. And imagine in those days, there were no recorders. So 5 to 6 devotees, they would take dictation, and every day it was getting published in the newspaper.
Wow. Well, you were very helpful to me when I was writing that chapter in my book on the 1930s Britain. And that was a kind of, when I decided to write a book about the diversity of Gaudiya Vaishnavism in the UK, it became apparent soon into my research that before I talked about the diversity of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, I need to talk about the history what is the history of Gaudiya Vaishnavism in the UK? And I tried to be as objective as possible. I'm from a particular map myself, and
Yes.
this happens with whatever map or whatever mission you're in. You're kind of told things that you believe to be true, and they are true, but they're a very small piece of the truth. And most people, particularly in ISKCON, that's kind of my background, would think that Gaudiya Vaishnavism started in Britain in 1968. And actually, it started here over 60 years before that. So I spent some time looking at the history of it. And those viewers and listeners that have read my book will know that there were a number of Western initiates into the Gaudiya Sampradaya in London in 1933, particularly leading up to 1937. And Sundar Gopal Prabhu was really instrumental, so helpful because I obviously don't speak Bengali. I'm very talented at other stuff, but I don't speak Bengali. And you were just so helpful. I said, look, I need some references to certain letters, or I need evidence that this person was initiated on this day. And could you tell me more about them? And I referenced a number of times these periodicals, and I think I've put them in the index of my book.
Right. Yes.
And in particular, you were helpful to me around the discovery of a number of people that were initiated into the Gaudiya Sampradaya in London in 1933. And I want to just mention two names: Arnold Corbluth and Hilda Corbell. I've talked about them a lot on my social media channels before. They were initiated in London on the 1st of October 1933. And Arnold, they were possibly, it's very difficult to always get this information correct, they were the first Westerners to be initiated in Britain ever into the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Yeah. Ronald Nixon, Sri Krishna Prem, took initiation in India 10 years before that. So actually in Britain, it was those two. And you helped me so much with telling me about them, because I didn't know they existed.
It was such a pleasure working. That was my first research work I started. Now I have multiple research work I have already done, but that was my first research work which I started with you. And I really feel extremely, blessed to do that work for you. So now also my main, whatever research I'm doing, that is all related to this journals of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, his personal writings, or Bhaktivedanta Thakur's personal writings. These two journals, importantly, Nadia Prakash and Gaudiya, it has everything about what was happening 100 years ago. So these references, like the way I have given you that this page, because a few days ago I told you that I was reading, and there I read about the complete initiation of this Mr. Corball and Hilda Corbell, how the initiation took place, what they were wearing, how did they got the Harinam Mahamantra. Every detail has been written there, and I'm translating that now from Bengali to English.
So what will happen with that information?
Actually, we are doing some research with the first few Western disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. So we are just trying to write something about them, that how they met, or how they came to know about Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, through whom, and how the initiation took place during that day, since there was no electronic device. Nowadays, there are like through Skype or maybe Zoom or Google Meet, you can at least hear the spiritual master's voice. So what would happen in those days, since the chanting beads would arrive, but how basis on what they are taking the initiation, hearing or reading what. So these I'm trying to research and find out from those journals if anything is written. But yes, I found out.
It's fascinating, and I'm not sure if you know this. You might have seen it on my Hare Krishna Project Facebook page a couple of years ago. I've been unsuccessful, if I'm honest. I've attempted to make contact with the people that live at 39 Drayton Gardens in Kensington. So 39 Drayton Gardens in Kensington is the house where the devotees were living in the 1930s, and where there were evening programs, kirtan, prasad distribution. And I have written to them. I haven't had a response yet.
You will be happy to know. I'm happy to know a new website has come up, the gauriamission.uk, something like that.
Wow. Okay.
So they have opened. You can access to the website. So the Gaudiya Mission Bagh Bazaar, they have recently come up with this new website only for the UK, for their UK mutt. So they were putting more information and other things. But I must say, Dr. Ferdinando Sardella, in one of his writings, an article, he actually has done a great research of Vinod Vanidasi, where he has given some references from your book.
Wow, that's wonderful. I really
Scholars
appreciate
actually
that.
appreciate, yeah, actually scholars appreciate your book very much, because the main thing which you have done, which makes your book more more glorious, that is with references. So whatever information you have put there, maybe 100, 200 years ago, that's something you have like composed, that you
Mm.
have taken it. So the reference helps a lot to know the scholars from where actually you have taken. So that is the main thing of your book. So I really appreciate the great work you have done in compiling that book, and of course other scholars. When I see their bibliography, your book name is written there, I feel very
Wow.
good.
I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, you can
That's
check in the
wonderful.
Journal of Vaishnav Studies, and some I can send you the issue,
Yeah.
link. There your book reference has been given.
My very, very small contribution to the kind of
But it will
sharing.
be more good in future if you can do more such great research. I mean, scholars will definitely appreciate such research with proper reference.
Yeah, I mean, if time allows, I would like to write a
Yes,
second book about the 1930s Britain and really go into a lot of detail about the devotees, Arnold Corbuth, Hilda
right.
Corbell, Arnold Corbluth, Hilda Corbell. Um, so that's some research that I'd really, really like to do. And then the other piece of research that you and I talked about before we started this broadcast, or I shared with you, is that
Hmm.
I want to do some research on the Krishna Samaj. So the Krishna Samaj was possibly a Gaudiya Vaishnav in the United States after 1902. So in my book, I talk about Baba Premananda Bharati,
Right.
who was a Gaudiya Vaishnav practitioner who came to London in 1902. He then went to the United States. Uh, I, I don't know a lot about him other than what I find online. Someone,
Hmm.
actually, John Chappell, bit of a shout out here, John Chappell, who's recently written a book about Sri Krishna Prem. He
Hmm.
kind of pointed out to me about a year ago that actually the first Western converts to Gaudiya Vaishnavism might not have been Ronald Nixon or
Right.
the devotees in London in the 1930s. It might have been these Americans, possibly these Americans around 1904. So but it's just so much time. I'd love time to research. I'd like to come and visit you and just spend time reading
Yeah,
everything behind you.
you can get most of your information from here only. So as I was telling, not only we have this personal library collection of
Mm,
Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati
mm.
Thakur, we also have a complete collection of handwritten original documents of Bhaktivinoda Thakur as well as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur.
Oh, um, the Bhaktivedanta, because I'm getting carried away now. The Bhaktivedanta Research Centre. So you're at the Kolkata Centre now at the
Yes,
and does it receive a lot of visitors? Do people come by and visit and read books?
yes. Yeah, since it's a research library, so we mostly get scholars and research students, professors. So professors from various reputed universities like Calcutta University, Jadavpur University, Presidency College, St. Xavier's College. These professors from various universities, they come here to refer books and journals, to write articles and various other things for their research purpose. And of course, research students, but mostly we are connected with the scholars worldwide.
Mm, mm,
Scholars from various parts of the world write us for requests of books, because the main library collection we are having, that's the personal library collection of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So most of the books are like out of print, 3,500 books, as I told you. So most of the books are like out of print, or maybe one print available, and that is here.
mm, mm,
It's the treasure trove of our research center.
mm. And I was just thinking about the impact as you were talking there. I was thinking about the global impact that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur has
Yes,
had in terms of most of us, not all of us, most of us in the Gaudiya Vaishnav tradition. We're in the Sarasvat line.
yes.
I mean, here in the UK, there are some devotees in the Nityananda line that kind of went kind of on a different path. But certainly, my own research is in it's been in the Sarasvat line, and I'm sure a lot of your work is also with mats and
Yes.
sanghas in the Sarasvat line. I'm just wondering if I can I wasn't planning to do this before we were chatting. If I can share screen.
Actually, my main research field is now Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur and his associates. So my main research is this now.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, I wasn't planning to do this, but I'm going to share this if I can, because we're doing, we'll say, well, for time. We've got all the time in the world. And I have to give some context to this before I share it, because or when I share it, I'm trying to find. Okay, I can't do two things at once. A lot of people can. Okay, here we go. I'm going to click this. I'm going to open it. So I'm going to show everyone a chart or a map. Okay, I'm now going to go to share screen. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's amazing what you can do with the internet these days. Okay, can you see that?
Oh, yes.
You can see that. So this is just for context. This is a family tree that I put together about a year ago. This is basically Britain and Britain only. And this, can I absolutely just clarify, because some devotees have seen this and they've got confused. This is a line of mats and branches, sub-branches, and offshoots. This is not a map of succession. Some people have got upset that their guru is not on this, but this is not a map of succession. So on this is version 3. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj is not on here because this is not a map of succession. This is a map of offshoots. So if I was doing a map of succession, I'd have to squeeze in all the ISKCON gurus over here. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Goswami Maharaj. Can you see my cursor moving around?
Yes, I can see.
Yes, I'm not sure if Zoom picks that up. So this is, so all of these devotees here with this kind of yellow are disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur who visited the UK. And then over here, these are devotees that didn't visit the UK, but they have an impact here, or they've had an impact here, or their mission. Like some devotees are upset that Govinda Maharaj is not here, but he didn't create an offshoot of the Sri Chaitanya Saraswati. He was just the successor. So there was a reason I was showing this. This is the kind of family tree in the UK. And there's a few names I might have to add down here. I'm just getting clarification on one of them. Because people mention different names.
Like for the Sri Raj Bihari Jyoti, I have the dates which I can share with you later.
Yes, here, yeah.
To be confirmed, I found out the dates, so I have the dates.
Yeah. So this is a family tree. I remember about 3.5 years ago, I went to an ISKCON meeting, and I'm not saying it was an ISKCON meeting to kind of shame ISKCON at all, but I was at an ISKCON meeting and I was giving a talk about all of this and my book and everything. And I said to everyone in the room, how many disciples did Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Goswami Maharaj have? And this lady put her hand up and said, he had one. He had one disciple. And I was, really? I thought it was like a trick answer. And of course, she was thinking, understandably, of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. And I was like, no, he had lots of disciples. I actually don't know the number that he had. Do you know how many disciples he had?
Numerous.
But it's in the hundreds, isn't it?
More than that.
Yeah. Is it thousands or hundreds?
Yes. No, thousands.
Yeah. But in terms of so anyway, I kind of explained to her, no, he had a lot of disciples. And in terms of Britain, these are the significant personalities that, and this, I'm not sure what my cursor shows, but over here, can you see my cursor highlighting Srila
Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj?
So I only he actually is not mentioned in my book because I only became aware of his existence until after it was published with the Sri Guru Prapana Ashram, which is the ashram that's run by a lady, a kind of sannyasini. If I ever get round to a second edition of my book, we'll talk about the Sri Guru Prapana Ashram. And you know what's been a real learning curve for me is that unfortunately things aren't harmonious in our family. Unfortunately, people don't get on, and some people have emailed me to say that so-and-so shouldn't be on there because they're offensive to someone else, and they shouldn't be on there because they said this. Well, it's been like some of these groups down here on the third generation shouldn't be here because they're offensive to Prabhupada. And it might be that they might have been offensive to Prabhupada, but that's not my decision to make. I'm just being objective. I'm a journalist, I'm a writer, and some devotees
I
are
mean,
kind
to
of,
my understanding, even I have also gone through such questions. So I feel that, see, what happened between them is between the God brothers, and we are not in a level to discuss or even culture about it. It's their problem, or whatever it has been happening with them, it's with them. So let them decide and not take the responsibility on us, because our spiritual masters have not said that you should hate this one, you should not listen to this one. My Guru Maharaj has always said to whoever you meet, whoever you think are favorable, you can hear from them, you can associate with them. So we have not come here to do this. This will be taken care by the Lord and his devotees. So it's very unusual. I mean, they should not think about this. They should more focus into the research, so that we should do some work that the future generation will know, yes, this group or these devotees existed and their contribution.
And I just want to mention, before I stop sharing the screen, I really particularly want to mention Srila Bhakti Pradeep Tirtha Maharaj. So you can see by the dates of these personalities here, he was a lot older than the others, and he was
Yes.
actually a disciple of Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur.
Yes. He was a
So,
disciple of Bhaktivedanta Thakur and the first sannyas disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur Prabhupada.
So I guess a kind of little claim to fame. He was, I need to think about this before I say this now. Certainly the first and possibly the only disciple of Bhaktivedanta Thakur to visit Britain. I'm not sure. I need to think about that. Was he the only?
Yes. Because I don't think Bhaktivedanta Thakur's, because BRC, as I told you, BRC has the original writing. So we have a list of the names of the Diksha disciples of Bhaktivedanta Thakur.
Did he have a lot of disciples?
See, the one which we have there, only it's mentioned about 25 to 20.
Yeah. So I just found that fascinating when I discovered that actually there was a disciple of Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur who visited Britain in 1933. Just kind of mind blowing. Okay. We've been chatting for almost an hour. I feel like we could talk forever about the kind of Bhaktivedanta Research Institute.
It's like going on.
It's a kind of whole, I mean, you and we could read through all those books together. This could be the longest podcast ever. If people want to find out more about the Bhaktivedanta Research Centre, where should they go, or what should they do?
On Facebook, we have a page with the name Bhaktivedanta Research Centre, and also we have our website, which is like brcglobal.org.
I will put links to those with this podcast. And then do you carry out research on behalf of individuals? Could you?
Yes, we do. We have several research assistants here. So like any scholar from overseas or from India, they want to do some research and they're looking for research assistants specialized in that field. So we provide research assistants to that scholar to help them in their research work. And as I forgot to mention, which I should mention, that BRC also has a major part in a manuscript mission project. So we run a project where we visit to the rural villages, temples, libraries, and we collect, preserve manuscripts and digitize. So what we do, we go there, we travel to those places in India or in West Bengal, to rural villages, and we go there and we take care of the manuscripts by preserving them and digitizing them. So we have such to many places in West Bengal, and also outside West Bengal. We have recently done in Bangladesh. So I visited Bangladesh in the month of January, and I discovered the writings of Rupa Goswami at the Bangladesh Dhaka University. They have the original handwritten manuscript of Rupa Goswami. And not only that, I visited to all the other places in Jashore. I went to the place where Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur would go and give lectures. So there is a very old library, more than 100 years old. So we have planned to do the digitization and the preservation work of the manuscripts there, and to all other places like Ishwar Pathshala. That's a very famous place in Bangladesh, in Kumilla. So they have a library, very old library, with 9,000 Gaudiya Vaishnav manuscripts, not touched, not taken care, lying like that. 9,000 manuscripts, can you imagine? And most of them are on palm leaf and on handmade paper. So also we have like more than 100 manuscripts, physical manuscripts we have in our research center. And to surprise, we have the scanned original handwritten document of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here at BRC.
Wow.
So
It's locked away in a secret room.
no, we have a museum here, a small museum, art museum, where we have displayed all our rare manuscripts. So one of them is the copy of the handwritten manuscript by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then the others are all on handmade paper by different Goswamis. So these are the copies, and some are maybe the originals, because on manuscripts they would not write the dates. But we have here in our BRC Kolkata museum, we have manuscripts on palm leaf, manuscripts on handmade paper, manuscripts on tree bark.
Wow.
So
And
I won't reveal much, so that I want you to come here and experience it.
how are the palm leaves and other kind of materials being preserved? They're kept in glass boxes, glass cases?
Yes, and mostly what we do, we wrap it with acid-free paper. So we wrap it with acid-free paper, then with red cloth to keep it away from worms. And then we have humidifier here, temperature control here. So we have the AC in 25 to 24 temperature running 8 hours a day, then humidifier. So with that we are controlling. So like it's more than 15 years, these manuscripts are here and they're perfect condition. And we
Wow.
do our yearly cleaning of those manuscripts as well.
Wow. It's
So
just
this is our
phenomenal.
this is our main mission. So we visit the ancient temples and rural villages to various parts of West Bengal and in India. We have worked in Vrindavan, in various places of Vrindavan, in Jaipur, in and many places in Calcutta. I mean, various parts of Bengal where we have visited. We have cleaned the manuscripts. We have preserved them. We have digitized them. We have cataloged them. So more than 1,000 manuscripts have been cataloged. More than 3,000 manuscripts have been cataloged. Digitized manuscripts.
You're doing a wonderful service. It's just an amazing service for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his entire family.
Yes, actually, our main aim is to preserve these ancient manuscripts, ancient rare books, so that the future generation can do research. Because you won't find anyone from 100 years ago to give you information. These books, these manuscripts are our only hope for researchers like you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is kind of pretty much 100 years, isn't it? You know, the first disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, it's 2023 now, came to the UK 90 years ago.
Right.
And I've even been thinking about what can we do in 10 years time to mark that or celebrate that. I'm obviously not planning anything right now because there's a whole decade to go, but I've been aware of it, thinking about how do we celebrate, how do we celebrate 100 years of Gaudiya Vaishnavism in the UK in 10 years time? I mean, that's another conversation. It's been wonderful, Sundar Gopal Prabhu, to have you as the guest on the podcast. You've kind of inspired me to do more research and write another book very quickly.
You have to do. And I would like to show you one thing, which is very rare. That is the original handwriting of Bhaktivedanta Thakur, which we have here. I kept with me. I wanted to show you.
Please.
So we have original handwritten songbook of Bhaktivedanta Thakur, and there we have the original Gaur Arati. So if you see, this is the original handwriting of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. This is the original Gaur Arati.
Wow. Wow. That's just amazing.
So we have the entire songbook of Bhaktivedanta Thakur and many other manuscripts of Bhaktivedanta Thakur, also complete manuscripts of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. And this is the last will, which was written 16 hours before Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur passed away from this world. So this is the last will of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur.
It's in English?
Yes, it's in English.
And what's just to give us some idea, what's Maharaj saying?
He's actually writing the first information. He's writing Sundarananda Vidya Vinod to edit Manjusha. Manjusha is Vaishnava encyclopedia which Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had the desire to compile. but which he couldn't do, and he passed away. So he kind of ordered Sundarananda Vidya Vinod, his personal secretary and editor and disciple, to edit this Manjusha, Vaishnav Manjusha. So he named the Vaishnav encyclopedia as Vaishnav Manjusha. And then the second point is here, which we all follow, I mean ISKCON, Gaudiya Math, to form a governing body members to 10 to 12 persons for the management of mission work. So it's advising to form a governing body.
Wow.
And then third point, he's writing about that Bhaktivedanta Thakur actually commanded him to look after his mother, and which he couldn't do. So he asked the devotees to fix a tablet on the Sonanda Sukhoda Kunja in Godrum Dweep in the memory of my affectionate mother. So he's asking devotees to do that. And then he's writing about Kunja Babu, the main man who was behind him prior to his sannyas, Kunja Bihari Vidyabhushan, who was known as Bhakti Vilas Tirtha Maharaj. So he was the one who mainly helped him, mainly in his preaching, establishing maths. First coming to Ultadanga, so he was the main person who insisted him to come to Calcutta. And then other things he's writing about devotees and about Professor Nishikanta Sanyal and other things. So total 13 points.
Wow.
And the last is we have the original handwritten Bengali letter which A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada wrote to Lalita Prasad Thakur, the youngest son of Bhaktivedanta Thakur from Red Fort, Moscow. So this is the original Bengali letter.
Wow. Wow. It's just amazing. And what year is that dated?
It's 1971.
Okay.
So this is I showed you 2% of what we have. So this is just the 2% I have showed you. There are more treasure trove, original complete writings of Bhaktivedanta Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, and stalwart of that tradition. So you have to come and visit and have to see that and witness with your own eyes.
Yes, I think I'm going to camp out in the library. I'm going to put a camp bed on the floor and just.
Yes.
I'm not going to see India. I'm not going to see India.
We have staying facility here as well. We have guest houses for our scholars because many scholars come who stays for a month and few days to refer to the library for their research.
Well, when I decide that what my second book will be on, I'll have to come and research
Definitely.
it.
You have to dive into this treasure trove.
I need to take 6 months off of work.
Yeah. And of course, I should say this before we end this conversation. I'm in debt to my Guru Maharaj, His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Vallabh Tirtha Maharaj, by whose grace I have got the opportunity to work here, by whose grace what I am today, I'm standing. I have never thought my life will change from a normal, ordinary boy to a researcher who is doing research of Gaudiya Vaishnavism with reputed scholars worldwide. So the complete credit goes to my Guru Maharaj.
Jai Gauranga.
He has just transformed my heart, my life. And actually, where I was in the mud, he dragged me from there and put it in between the lotus petals, I feel. My life has completely changed after I met him. And our relation was not more of a disciple and a spiritual master because I was young. So it was more like a father and a son.
Wow.
So all credit goes to him for bringing me up from there to an ordinary normal boy of the street to a research scholar. And
That's
of course,
wonderful.
love and inspiration and the support of all my BRC team members, the management people, and of course, great scholars like you with whom I get the chance to work.
Hare Krishna. So I think I'll just say goodbye to the viewers and listeners at home, Sundar, and then we can have a brief debrief after. So a big thank you to Sundar Gopal Prabhu for being our 78th guest on the Hare Krishna Project podcast. We're really grateful to him for his time, his valuable time, for finding out more about the Bhaktivedanta Research Centre and all the wonderful things that are happening there. And I wasn't aware that all those manuscripts are kept there. So it's another reason to visit and have a look at them. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do like it. Please do put a constructive comment, and please do hit that all-important subscribe button so you'll be updated about future podcasts and future updates from the Hare Krishna Project. And if you're watching this on Facebook, please do like or follow the Hare Krishna Project Facebook page for details and keep updated with us about future podcasts and future projects and things we're involved with. Until next time, we'll see you all soon. Thank you. Hare Krishna.